guys? Ryan Reiffert here. Hope everybody's staying safe with all the snow and power outages and water outages that are going around the state of Texas. Fortunately, been mostly okay here, and now it looks like everything is, if not fully back to normal, at least getting there. I wanted to take an opportunity to chat with something that I've gotten a few questions on recently, and that's price gouging, which is sort of interesting in a bad way. That this is the second time that this has come up in the past year. The first time that this came up was of course with the COVID-19 rush to get protective equipment, masks, gloves, that kind of thing, and what sorts of price increases were permissible for that. Now we have an entirely different kind of natural disaster on our hands, a massive record-setting winter snowstorm and ice storm. And so I wanted to take a minute and talk about this. So the relevant statute is the Texas DTPA, the Deceptive Trade Practices and Consumer Protection Act. And I have the relevant language of it right here. You can see I'm glancing over that way. And it prohibits taking advantage of a disaster declared by the governor or the president by either 1, selling or leasing fuel, medicine, lodging, building materials, construction tools, or another necessity at an exorbitant or excessive price, or 2, demanding an exorbitant or excessive price in connection with the sale or lease of fuel, food, medicine, lodging, building materials, construction tools, or another necessity. The penalties for the violation of this are quite steep. You can have a civil penalty of up to $10,000 per violation, plus up to $250,000 if the buyers were elderly. So there's a special hammer for if you take advantage of old folks. In addition, you can be separately sued for the price gouging provisions under the DTPA for actual damages or treble damages, meaning 3 times, if the merchant knowingly or intentionally violated DTPA, as well as you can get court costs, attorney's fees, and all kinds of fun stuff. So the numbers can really start to add up. So you're probably thinking, or at least I was thinking the first time I saw that, what the hell does exorbitant or excessive mean, right? Is that 5%, 10%, 20%, 50%? Does it depend on how much it costs to get the gasoline or firewood or clean water or whatever from San Antonio to Houston, or from New Orleans to Dallas, or from Santa Fe to El Paso, or does it take into account the costs that are related? And the bad news is, who knows, right? The statute is very vague on its face, but there's a little bit of a silver lining here in that, again, we have 50 states, with the majority of them have these price gouging statutes, and some of them have set forth numerical limits, on a percentage basis of how much the price can be increased. So if you follow kind of roughly in the ballpark of those, maybe you'll be okay. Certainly not telling anybody that that number or a particular number is the right answer. But if you look to other states for guidance, they kind of fall in a cluster of what they consider exorbitant or excessive. So Alabama says 25%, Arkansas, California, DC all say 10%, Kansas says 25%, Maine 15%, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Oklahoma, those are all 10%. Oregon is 15%, Pennsylvania is 20%, Utah, West Virginia 10%, Wisconsin 15%. So you can kind of see, a lot of other states who have taken a numerical approach to it, a percentage-based approach to it, have said, it's somewhere in that 10 to 15 to 20 to 25% range. So you can probably be pretty safe with a 10% increase. It's certainly no guarantee, but there's no state that has a threshold of less than 10%. If you get a little bit more aggressive with it, hey, you're sort of taking your life in your own hands. But there are plenty of states that say, hey, 15, 20, 25%, go right up to that, and that's reasonable. Many of the other states take a similar approach to Texas, and say that you use vague language like exorbitant or excessive, and sort of leave it open to interpretation, and say, hey, price gouging is what our prosecutors say it is after the fact, so don't be a jerk. So anyway, please, be careful when you're selling supplies out there. I mean, obviously, we know that price controls create black markets, right? That's economics 101. It can't be helped. But everybody, please be nice to each other and have your common human decency. And if you're trying to sell firewood to somebody, cover your costs, but don't charge them 10 times what you paid for it. That's not only is it unfair, but it exposes you to a risk of prosecution later. Stay warm, stay safe, take care.